If you've ever sat down to a hearty, full English breakfast, chances are you've seen it. That mysterious, dark, round slice sitting next to the fried egg, the baked beans, and the sausage. Some people grab it right away and say, "Oh yes, black pudding, my favorite." Others, well, they look at it like it's something that crawled out of a medieval dungeon. Today we're going to uncover what's really inside British black pudding. So, what's the surprisingly fascinating secret behind black pudding? Let's find out right here on History of Food. Let's get the big one out of the way. Black pudding is made with blood, usually pig's blood, sometimes cow's, occasionally sheep's, depending on the region or recipe. That's the black part of the pudding, giving it its dark, almost gothic look. Now, if you just gagged a little, you're not alone. The idea of eating blood makes some modern eaters squeamish. But here's the thing. Using blood in food is ancient. Cultures all over the world have been making blood sausages for centuries. The French have boudin noir. The Spanish and Latin Americans have morcilla. The Chinese have blood tofu. The Filipinos, dinuguan, a savory blood stew. In fact, if you go back far enough, wasting blood after a slaughter would have been unthinkable. It was protein, it was nutrition, and it was survival. So, while your taste buds might hesitate, history is firmly on the side of black pudding. Now, black pudding isn't just a glass of pig's blood poured into a frying pan, thank goodness. Blood is just the base. The other essential ingredients are fat, grains, and seasoning. Traditionally, suet or pork fat is added for richness. Then you get oats, barley, or sometimes rice, which help absorb the blood and give the pudding structure. Think of it like the breadcrumbs in a meatloaf. It holds the whole thing together. Seasonings vary, but most recipes include onions, salt, pepper, and warming spices like nutmeg, mace, or allspice. Some regional recipes even sneak in herbs like thyme or parsley. The result? Something savory, hearty, and surprisingly comforting. If you've never tried it, think of it less like, "I'm eating coagulated blood," and more like, "This is a spiced sausage with a rich, earthy flavor." It's got a grainy texture from the oats and a depth that regular sausages just can't match. What's fascinating about black pudding is how polarizing it is. In Britain and Ireland, it's both beloved and reviled. For some, it's a breakfast staple, right there with bacon, eggs, and toast. For others, it's the part of the plate that gets pushed aside, untouched, while they whisper, "Nope, nope, nope." Outside of Britain, the reactions can be even stronger. Americans, for example, often recoil at the idea of eating blood in any form. Meanwhile, in Spain or Latin America, black pudding's cousin morcilla is not only accepted, but celebrated. So really it comes down to culture and whether you grew up with it or not. Believe it or not, black pudding wasn't always just a breakfast item. In medieval Britain, it was considered a bit of a superfood. Blood is rich in iron, protein, and vitamin B12. For people in pre-industrial times, when diets were limited, black pudding was a nutritious powerhouse. It was also practical. Animals were usually slaughtered in the fall, and fresh meat had to be preserved quickly. Making blood sausages meant you could use up the blood right away before it spoiled, and turn it into something you could smoke, dry, or store. Nothing wasted. And here's a fun medieval tidbit. Black pudding was sometimes thought to be a bit sexy. That's right. In old folk traditions, blood was linked to vitality and fertility, so a hearty serving of black pudding might have been seen as a little aphrodisiac. Move over oysters. Bring in the blood sausage. Fast forward to today, and black pudding has had something of a renaissance. For years, it was mocked as old-fashioned peasant food. But now, modern chefs are putting it back on the menu with pride. You'll find black pudding crumbled into Scotch eggs, used as a gourmet pizza topping, or paired with scallops in upscale restaurants. In Ireland, it's almost a cultural badge of honor, with brands competing for the title of Best Black Pudding. There are even black pudding festivals where enthusiasts gather to taste and celebrate this centuries-old sausage. Surprise! Black pudding has been rebranded as a superfood in recent years. It's high in protein, rich in iron, and lower in carbs thanks to the oats. The catch? Like any sausage, it can also be loaded with fat and salt. So yes, you can feel a little virtuous eating it, just maybe not every day unless you want your cardiologist calling. What's really interesting about black pudding isn't just what's in it, but what it represents. Food like this, made from the less glamorous parts of an animal, connects us to a time when eating was about resourcefulness and respect for the animal. Everything had to be used. In many ways, black pudding is a reminder of a nose-to-tail philosophy that's making a comeback in sustainable food circles today. Why waste parts of the animal when you can turn them into something delicious? So while the idea of blood sausage might raise eyebrows now, it's arguably a more ethical choice than tossing perfectly edible ingredients into the bin. If you've never tried black pudding, the only way to know if you're a fan or a hater is to taste it. Fry it until crisp and serve it with eggs and toast, or go modern with apple slices or a savory pie. And here's the kicker. Most first-timers are surprised by how normal it tastes. Not metallic or bloody, but more like a spiced sausage with earthy richness. The real hurdle isn't your taste buds, it's your brain. Get past the ick factor and you might just become a black pudding fan. So what's really in British black pudding? Blood, fat, oats, and spices, plus centuries of history and culture packed into every slice. From medieval necessity to modern gourmet kitchens, it's a dish that tells a story. It may never be everyone's cup of tea, or cup of blood for that matter, but it challenges us to rethink what we call edible, normal, or delicious. So next time a full English breakfast puts that dark slice on your plate, maybe give it a chance. After all, black pudding has been keeping people fed, strong, and just a little scandalized for hundreds of years. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other bingeable channels. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution.